Hello, welcome to Once the Force of Stars podcast. My name's Phil, of course. I'm joined as usual by George and Dave. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Good evening.
And we are back to discuss for another regular episode. But before we crack into the news and everything, I want to give us a nice little bit of a shout out to the Blue Panther Co. and their awesome host Matt, who came and joined us for a video at the weekend.
It feels like so long ago. It was like, what, 5 days ago?
Yeah.
Yes, we went live for a very special video on the prequels. We discussed the hypothetical, not confirmed, not even rumoured news that if there was a prequel special edition, what changes did we want to make? Check that out on our YouTube channel. Follow Blue Panther Milk. That's great. And we're also going to plug the fact that unintentionally, all three of us actually wearing our own merchandise once. I found this top.
For the first time in a while, yeah.
I've got this top I've not worn for a few months because I thought I lost it. I hadn't. So we've got some new t-shirts. We've got some amazing Clone Wars designs. An incredible, not spoiler alert, clone helmet one. Thanks to Dave for making that one. Basically the final shot of the show, but done far more artistically, if you can even say that.
It is actually, it's really beautifully done. Like, damn it, I put my order in for new merch, and then Dave has this brilliant idea. Like, thanks, Dave. You couldn't have waited a day for that one, could you? Of course, though, there is Star Wars merch down there as well. Of course, for those of you who've been following along with that. There wasn't an episode last week. There will be one next week. That's just due to scheduling things and bits and pieces get in the way. But yes, go check out our video with Blue Panther Co. Go check out our new merchandise from our TeePublic store, which will be in the link down below. But now let's just jump straight into the news. And it's been one of rumor, I would say, more than actual confirmed castings. But it's been a busy week for all but confirmed castings. We'll talk about the big one first, which is Tamara Morrison has been rumored to play a character in Mando season 2. Now, I'm going to say a character because he's naturally being linked with Captain Rex and Boba Fett. Now, I know what we would like to see, but what we may actually see is the reality. I don't know.
I mean, Hollywood Reporter is like one of the two best film companies in the world for news. They break almost all the big casting news. Hollywood Reporter and Deadline are the only two to pay attention to. And Hollywood Reporter dropped it on Friday night. Tamara Morrison's playing Boba Fett. Now, I don't have any issues. I adore Tamara Morrison. I love the fact that he may be back in Star Wars, especially when he had a beard for a role recently. It's very much like Captain Rex. He is the age of 60, and obviously they're going to say he's playing Boba Fett. We don't know to what capacity. We don't know if it's in one episode. It might not happen at all. I'm pretty sure this is happening. To me, this all but confirms that Tatooine episodes with the Spurs that was Boba Fett now. Gone with my dreams of Cad Bane.
No, it's Cad Bane. It will be Cad Bane. Also, I mean, to be fair, I would argue to the hill it won't be Boba Fett because of canon reasons. Because
it will be Boba Fett because that's who they're going to cast. Hollywood Reporter wouldn't have got this wrong. However, I do think he may be playing more than one role. But also, playing Boba Fett could also mean doing the voice as he did in these special editions, which is very important now.
Yeah, I would say not as it could be that he's playing Boba Fett. Haha, this is what we're going to slide. He's playing Boba Fett. I would have preferred to play Rex. We're going to see him, and yeah, you might be right. If it's going to be Boba Fett may never take that helmet off if we see him, and we get a voice. If we do see him, I'd rather we didn't, but if we do, and then hopefully we could see Tamara Morrison playing his rightful role as Rex.
But right. However, because we've had the rumor of Captain Rex, we've had the rumor of Ahsoka. And of course, the other rumor, which we're going to talk about this evening, which is of Katie Sackhoff reprising her role, well, actually taking up the live-action mantle as Bo-Katan. It would make a lot more sense for it to be Captain Rex than Boba Fett. I know it's reaching here a little bit, but at the same time, it
could be both. The Bo-Katan stuff's interesting. We can merge this into one because they are the two big Mando news. Katie Sackhoff, I'm quite certain, accidentally let slip she was on set a year ago. She was at Celebration, and everyone was like, are they going to do a big revelation that she's the Mandalorian? And they never did. And I can't remember where, but it was either an interview or a tweet where she put something, and it was swiftly deleted. And then there was another tweet in November where she put something like, something magical has happened, blah, 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 which was basically, I was clearly on set today. And you know what? For someone that's voiced the character across not like 12 years, because whenever she was introduced, obviously small role, but
season 3 or season 2?
I can't remember. My sort of rewatch has merged into one, but that's someone that was not in a rude way. That's an actress doing a voice acting role. So when it comes to doing Bo-Katan physically, she does look like her, especially in that photo. And some people are, oh, she's too old to play. Well, you've just seen the Clone Wars. This is set, like 25 years after Clone Wars, something like that. She's the right age for it.
It's set, 9 years
Yeah,
after?
so you're looking around about that.
6 years after that, so it's going to be
6 years after 6 years
20,
after Jedi.
26, so 26 years.
And age-wise,
So it's going to be 28 years since her first appearance, which is in season 4 of Clone Wars. So it's going to be
age-wise, it looks fine. And
yeah, exactly.
I think the big thing with this is that it's pretty cool that she gets to
look. As long as they give
the...
Rex the big old beard, then I'm perfectly happy.
I mean, he's not going to have a Santa Claus beard because that would look horrific.
No, but he will have this, but in white, basically.
Not as big. I think he did a film about a year or two ago, and he did have a beard for a bit last year. And obviously, his Star Wars Celebration appearance was cancelled last year due to other commitments. Who knows? He might have had a big beard by then. I doubt it. But I think this is all. The problem is, and it's not really a problem. Once it goes to the big companies, it's not speculation. It's done. That's I forgot a name from the Americans that was in episode 9. Have I forgotten a name? Story Bliss.
Yes.
They confirmed that like 4 months before filming started. Deadline also confirmed the fact that Matt Smith's role was disappeared. Deadline don't get it wrong, and I don't want it to be Boba. I mean, the problem is, right? I heard someone say this online. I can't remember who said it. Boba Fett is, to me, one of the most boring characters in Star Wars. The Clone Wars made him interesting, but that's young Boba Fett, not the cool guy in armor that everyone's overly obsessed with. What I hope, and I think if it's going to be this, I think it's going to be a 1 episode now, and I think he'll be this big threat in season 3. I think this will be the episode Jon Favreau directs, which we'll go into later on. And I also hope that, say Boba Fett is in this, my only hope is that they can do what they did to Maul in Clone Wars. You're not going to have as much time because it's live action, but Maul was not a character in The Phantom Menace. He was like not even a movement. He was the villain. He wasn't a fully fledged character. Considering where we end up in Clone Wars, even Rebels, monologues, philosophy, everything. Maul didn't have that in his first appearance, and if they can do anything to like make Boba Fett a bit more than guy stands around in the corner of a building, does something cool, I'm all down for that.
Right, my thing with Boba Fett. So I realised if I lean back too far, you can't see this if you listen to the audio, but apparently now I am God with the amount of sunlight in my face here. That hurts. My thing with Boba Fett is a cool character if you watch the original trilogy. You see someone who's menacing and kind of brooding, as it were, stands off to the side and gets killed in a very hilarious way. But he has a mythos then built up by Clone Wars. They run the risk of, when they bring characters like this back, of ruining them. Rex could have been very easily ruined by Rebels. He wasn't. It does then twist the ending of Clone Wars, which we're not going to spoil here, but because he's in Rebels, he survives the Clone Wars, so it makes it a little bit less impactful what happens. If Bo-Katan comes back, we don't know her fate. It's very clear we don't know what happened to her during the Empire years, so that would be cool to look at if indeed it's not a flashback. When you bring characters like this back from somewhere else, you run the risk of ruining their image. I mean, Phasma, we all know what Phasma was supposed to be the next Boba Fett, and it wasn't. It was FN2199, or TR8, or Traitor, as some people called him after episode 7, because he had one cool part, and he was left alone.
He was a meme.
Exactly.
He died, though, let's be honest.
Yes, but the point is, though, he had his moment, and then he was gone. That's why he was loved. Phasma was tried to be that, and they got it wrong. Boba Fett, they could ruin by bringing back, and it's one of those things of, I've spoken to a couple of friends of mine. One of my friend Matt, who's a very, very big Boba Fett fan. I mean, tattoos and owns Hot Toys and the rest of it, like massive Boba Fett fan. And he's also said the same. Yes, he would love it to be Boba Fett, but he doesn't want them to ruin it. And I don't. And it's one of those things that have to be very careful with how they do it.
Oh, they have to be, because they've got to explain how he crawled out of a bloody hole in the desert. Maul, you got chopped in half. He spent 10 years in a cave. How did you survive? I can't do a Simon voice. Was it pure hate?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but you let it go because of what they did of the character. Yeah, it's better than having him not say anything and have a deleted scene that Ian McDermott says at a convention of how they explained it. I'm not going to go into that.
No,
but I think if they do it, it's going to be the final episode, and it's going to be some big standoff, or not final episode, some like mid-season. We're teasing next year. Because if I want to quickly jump back and forth with Katie Sackhoff, you mentioned flashback. I said to you guys on Facebook chat last night, in the nicest possible way, I was really hoping she died because she had the dark saber at the end of Rebels, and now the Empire has the dark saber. I don't think they'd have took them hostage and been like, "Oh, we'll just keep the saber." It would have been, public example.
Yeah. The only issue with that, of course, is that takes place before episode 4, so it has to be done in those years between 4 and 6. But that is doable, especially with 5.
Yeah,
that time gap between 5 and 6, there is time there to do it. So it is possible. And to be fair, that time gap is something they're exploring in the comics. They've done between episode 4 and episode 5. Now they're doing between episode 5 and episode 6. There's a lot bigger gap between 5 and 6 than there is between 4 and 5.
No, it's the other way around.
It's
3 between 4 and 5, and 1 between 5 and 6.
Yeah, sorry, it is. Yeah, you're correct there. Sorry, my bad. But it's one of those things that there is time for them to place it. There's time for them to work it in. It'd be very cool for them to fill in some of those gaps. And I agreed with you wholeheartedly in that statement. I think it'd be a nice way to see. I don't want to see the character die, but to see how the Empire got its hands on the Darksaber and to tease the Imperial Purge of Mandalore. I mean, that'd be cool.
I mean, sorry, Dave.
No, that's okay, man. I was just going to say it's going to be a really nice move, but you're right. It is tricky to place them. I think Bo-Katan is the tougher character for them to get right. For myself, I don't go outside of sort of the movies and the TV show. So for me, Boba Fett is great in Empire and then dies in inverted bunny ears in Jedi. So for me, for him to come back, I don't think that for myself, and I think maybe people who don't go outside of the movies will be a little bit of an easy one to take, because whatever they then say has happened, they may not even mention how he got out the Sarlacc, although I think that's going to probably have to be brought up at some point.
The problem is Aftermath. The problem is Aftermath Life Debt, because that's a canon book. It tells us what happened to the Sarlacc and what happened to Armor.
Think as they go, that
they change. They changed the Ahsoka.
They're changing canon, is what I'm saying. Is even when it's been written,
this is
the Ahsoka novel was canon until.
And it still is.
It still is canon.
But the problem with it is that the Ahsoka book says that Darth Maul went into ray shields and they didn't duel. Who in their right mind would take that over what we just saw on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
And if it means getting rid of one chapter from a book to have someone in live action in the series that the entire world watches, that it's non-comparison. It's not really a discussion of delving into canon, what isn't canon, but the kind of way I've always seen canon is that their canon priorities are film. Then it's TV.
It's just making sure they don't get into the habit of constantly changing it.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like Aftermath was one of the first books. Like they can get away with the changing that. Like is that weird segment where it's like a scene that's not to do with the main plot but takes place around the galaxy.
Yeah,
so
correct.
It's the kind of that's the most easy. It's the easiest scene you could get rid of.
Yeah,
like the whole Jar Jar being a clown.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm just kind of I'm playing devil's advocate on the other side of the bit of how you can play every single piece out and what. I just don't want them to get in the habit of changing it.
No, I get that.
Everyone doing all the extra part. I mean, it's an interesting discussion for Star Wars, though. So that's another matter entirely. Like I said, we'll be covering the Ahsoka book at some point. Continuing on the Mandalorian Season 2 train and what feels basically like we just had a Mandalorian panel from Star Wars Celebration. Dave Filoni has now been confirmed to direct only one episode of Mando Season 2. Now, we've also finally had Robert Rodriguez finally officially confirmed, as well as Peyton Reed, which means we have 6 out of the 8 so far.
Yes, so Dave Filoni obviously did 2 episodes in Season 1, just doing 1 episode in Season 2. I am guaranteed that's the Ahsoka episode. No chance it's not going to be that. Robert Rodriguez, he's dropped a lot on our podcast. They've finally made the 4th. They did a little announcement. He did a photo with the Baby Yoda puppet. So I can finally tell you what I'm working on Star Wars. And then the one that kind of took everyone by surprise, Peyton Reed's tweet, as Dave just put up a photo for those watching. He had the director chair, the Mando helmet, better known for directing Ant-Man 1 and 2, which I adore the first one, don't mind the second one, but that kind of took me by surprise, more so because they hadn't officially announced the directors. And then what we know of previous reports is that obviously Jon Favreau is directing an episode this season.
He was never not going to do one.
Now he's done Lion King. He's got the full availability. Bryce Dallas Howard's going to be doing 1 episode. Carl Weathers was confirmed directing episodes, and you also have I can never pronounce the surname Rick
Fuyama.
Fuyama is all but confirmed directing episode. That's 6 of. I think it's just going to be them 6.
Agreed. I mean, Taika would have done one if he wasn't doing his. I can't remember the film he's got coming out.
And obviously, Deborah Chow's locked down for filming Kenobi.
However, though, after what she did on Kenobi and her appearance on The Gallery, I am more than up for her doing Kenobi. Like, The Gallery has boosted my level of confidence in her even further.
Did they announce that like after episode 3 had aired, but before episode 7?
Yes.
It was like
yeah.
like a weird, like perfectly timed window for everyone to get on the hype train. We do have a bit of Kenobi rumors later, but I'm intrigued. I think that's the 6. I reckon. Personally, I think Favreau's doing the Boba Fett episodes. He's gone on so much public about Boba Fett. It's going to be
unless we have George Lucas do too, which would be like the most incredible thing ever. I mean, he has appeared on set. I mean, he has been there, and of course we saw it at the Gallery again. He's stuck around for more. Well, come on, what would it be like if Lucas got to direct an episode of Mando?
I would love it. My only worry is that they would tell everyone too early. I would, if he has, I'll love it if they could somehow keep it quiet till the credits roll and it's like directed by George Lucas.
George Lucas, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, people do want it. I think it's ironic, isn't it, that the people that wanted him to sell it because he ruined it. Now, please come back, George. Disney ruined it, not you after all. But I spent 10 years telling you're rubbish at directing films. Now that crowd's kind of in this midst, and Disney themselves are, they're taking risk. I would love him to come back as a farewell, but I feel like his farewell was the Clone Wars Siege of Mandalore by making the prominent name. Even when the final episode was done, still went first thing to Lucas, then Filoni. They could have easily got away with putting Filoni at number 1 and Lucas number 2, but never once did they choose that. They kept George as the main credit, and I think that's the final bit of Star Wars content that George Lucas will have his name attached to, except obviously the obligatory characters buy on every single credit in history. But in terms of a producer credit, I think that's the last one.
I think, you might be right. I mean, yes, I'd love to see him step into anything. And you're right, it'd be an amazing secret because I think he'd watch an episode, the director credit would probably be like, what? And then you back and watch the episode again. It would force you to do so. And I think it would be an amazing thing. You're right, he's on set a lot. He seems to really enjoy what they're doing with the stories. Still firing memes with the Emperor, ironic there in front of us. But it would be absolutely a great thing for him if he did want to kind of dip his toe back into the universe. I think it would be a nice place for him to go. The technology that they have, the way they use it, I think he'd be really into that. But I think that might be one of the reasons more he was on set overseeing. I think he would be quite interested in what they're doing there. But yeah, I'd love to see him, but I can't see it. I just can't.
I would love it. I can't see it happening either. However, it would be amazing if he did.
I'm happy if he spends the next few years just going on set anyway. Like even if it's time to photos, like I'm convinced he's going to crop up in the gallery at some point. There's going to be a video, isn't there? I don't think he goes on set and doesn't do a video for them to put out as PR. Maybe towards
the last episode of the gallery.
It's just
Favreau, Filoni, and Lucas.
Just the 3 of them. That would be actually incredible.
Yeah. So I mean, then to wrap up Mando news, season 2 of Mando has been confirmed now to come out in October. From Bob Iger, Corona's not affected the production at all because they wrapped back in January, something like that.
They wrapped it up. So is it not Bob? It was Bob. It wasn't Bob Iger. It was the other Bob that's done his first PR appearance in like 4 months.
Bob 2, yeah.
The Bob that not everyone likes. Doesn't like. Just he's not Bob Iger, is he? And he's going to have that forever. How do you follow up the best Bob in the history of your company? You're the CEO after Bob Iger. It's not good. Yeah. Fine. Anyway, so he did an interview the other day live on the news. They asked him, is Mandalorian going to keep its date? He said Mandalorian's not been affected at all. We wrapped filming early. We're doing well on post-production. There's going to be not a single issue with it, which is very encouraging.
Post-production you can do from home in terms of the editors and colorists. Yes, a bit harder than it would be normally because you can't have people constantly churning.
At least we know most of the CGI is done during filming, on the set. I think that makes a big difference.
For those of you out there who haven't watched the gallery, I urge you to go and watch it. The first 2 episodes are up now, and especially in the second episode where you have Filoni riff on everything from Qui-Gon versus Maul all the way through to episode 9, just the impact of it. Just that alone is worth your time. The actual episodes themselves are great. You see a lot behind the scenes. we've spoken it before, but I wholeheartedly urge you to go and watch that if you haven't, for sure. But yes, so definitely that will be coming out in October, not affected at all. The next bit of news we have is another rumor.
This is ultimate rumor mill. This isn't Deadline Hollywood. This isn't any of them. This was a rumor that jumped up, and it's not a Twitter rumor. It's off a fan
Go
site.
on, George. Let's let you have this one. Come on, then.
The rumor is that Hayden Christensen may well be reprising the role of Anakin Skywalker. Unfortunately, not in Episode 9 because that's been and gone. Because apparently he didn't need to be in that one. This is going to be during the Kenobi series. The rumor is that it's not going to be as Vader. It would be flashbacks. And that they wanted to announce this at Star Wars Celebration alongside the announcement of Rosario Dawson. Now, this is the ultimate take with a pinch of salt. Because I'm not saying that it would have been weird to bring out Rosario Dawson, but when someone's playing Ahsoka sort of 25, 30 years after the Anakin Skywalker standing next to him, it's not going to... It'd be a cool announcement, but it's not really that kind of mic drop announcement that it could have been. It would have been like bringing out like Alec Guinness and then like Liam Neeson. Like, hey, this is Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Like, they didn't do that in 99 because it just wouldn't have worked. No. And yeah, take this with a pinch of salt. Now, the problem with this is that the Clone Wars has been this big hit. Everyone's on a Clone Wars hype. The Kenobi hype's there anyway. Someone says a flashback to the Clone Wars with a live action Ahsoka. And, you know, people will be slobbering at their feet if they did say this at Celebration. It seems too good to be true. And Rosario Dawson, I am 100% is only playing in Mandalorian. I don't think you can get away with casting her as a Padawan, right?
No, she's too old for that.
I know it's
just the face
but...
itself. Yeah, I just don't think it's enough to. She's too. I think at that age should be like. Too tall
I think if she's doing Ahsoka though, it's going to be post Rebels Ahsoka.
Exactly, no, that's the point. It's that, and that's why I can't take this report seriously.
No, although we're allowed to be teased here on Wonders of the Force. We'll give you the false hope that can be dashed at any moment. However, we do want to see the Jedi mullet back. So if we see it, we will be happy. If we don't,
the whole world spent 3 films waiting for. We're going to get a cameo from Anakin in this one. Didn't happen in 7. We're going to get a cameo from Anakin in this one. Episode 8 didn't happen. 9, the final film in the Skywalker saga, the chosen one will get his cameo. No. So that's not even like my aggression with the film, but that's just like the not even blind optimism. That was like people spent years thinking we were going to get.
He got something, but it's not what
we wanted.
It's so much more.
Yeah, considering
it would be amazing for him to come back. I think if anyone is going to be brought back into Kenobi, he's absolutely the actor you want to bring. Not the actor, the character that you want to bring back. Because yes, Obi-Wan is going to be on his little adventure watching Luke. But of course, he's going to have the nightmares that Anakin had when he left his mom, and he started having nightmares about that. And there's no way Obi-Wan cannot be scarred.
Yeah, you got episode 4. I'm going to sit there going, As you sat there thinking about the traumas of the Clone Wars, you can have that then be its own little flash forward from in the Mando to those. It's like in Kenobi to those moments there where he sat there just thinking about the Clone Wars. What can he tell Luke about Anakin? His father, who, as I said, was a great cunning warrior and a great friend, but also then turned into Vader. We know it happened because we know the story from there onwards. But those are those flash forward moments again, because we know that Ewan McGregor has a very similar face shape to Alec Guinness. If you haven't watched within a minute, again you'll find out as well. But it's just that moment we sat there thinking about it. You can have those flash forwards and flashbacks. It's a really cool thing they could do. However, that's enough teasing. I think it's time. We haven't had one of these for a while. Should we have a traditional Ones of the Force rant?
It's not even really a rant. It's just sad.
It's a small rant.
Obviously, guys, for you that don't know at home, well, you are at home because of COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. I hope you're all staying safe. That's the message. Wash your hands, all that, etc., etc. Obviously, we kept making comments that the celebration's still going ahead. Last time we checked 2 weeks ago, it's still going ahead. People that have tickets, so not me because I already got rid of mine, got an email 2 weeks ago, I think tonight. I think it was just after we aired. And it basically was from Repop, like, hi, guys. Just an update for you about Star Wars Celebration. It's not going ahead, but it might not go ahead. Just an update. Thanks for reading. Stay safe. We'll update you all in the coming weeks, months, whatever. Disgrace. There's no other way to put it. I'm really holding back what I could say about this. Every convention in the world has basically been cancelled, except this, probably the third biggest convention in the world. This is August. San Diego Comic Con's been there for 50 years, and they pulled the plug, and that's end of July. LA is on lockdown for another 3 months. They've said it again. Anaheim Convention Center has said they are closed. Yet this one convention still is going on. Now, we've said before, are they trying to get the dates to reschedule to 2021? Interestingly, they did say on the statement, if we reschedule it, your tickets will be valid. But if we cancel it, we will cancel the tickets. To me, that hints at a bigger situation that they might not reschedule it to next year. They might just wipe it off. And tying in with all of that, what came after, obviously, we've had all this film news. We've had the busiest, solid film and media bit of news for a while. Dropping Taika to direct a film, that's a celebration moment. Tamara Morrison to play Boba, it probably would have been the trailer. It got leaked, not their fault. Okay, so everything's getting leaked.
So we would have the image. It's not a particularly great image. So
yeah, I didn't get the email because I've given up my ticket. But when Matt was with us last week, Australia are allowed to travel. They're not allowed to travel outside Australia in 2020. Same New Zealand, same with other countries. You can't go anywhere. Why are they holding on to this? We don't know. It's not going to go ahead. Lucasfilm are better than that anyway. I think this is a Reed Pop thing. They really hesitated to cancel MCM.
There you go. That's a high def version.
They cancelled MCM in the UK very last minute when other places could have done it earlier. And they even put in the statement, sorry, I'm reading paragraph 3 as I talk out loud with my thoughts. We're monitoring the large public gatherings in the state of California. There's nothing to monitor because none are happening.
Yeah, because the state of California has banned them. In
Exactly.
fact, there's a bigger situation with this is actual news compared to Star Wars news, but Tesla, Elon Musk is starting production. He's going to sue California because he needs his business to run, which is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Of protect your workers, not your bottom line, which I keep saying privately. It's talking about the people who look after the bottom line, so the actual people that sells and work for them. And this is one of those situations where you can't have the gathering. California has already put the law into place. They are trying very hard. Partly is to the insurance, so that they can, if they have to give refunds, they can recoup the losses via the insurance company. But also, the longer they leave it, the more likely people are to cancel and not have to give a refund in the first place. I know, George, you're on a boat where you've sold your ticket and you're getting your money till after the event anyway. But people like that are kind of screwed. People that are waiting on a refund, because don't forget, flights and hotels are a thing. People have maybe got a ticket and waiting to book a flight in a hotel that may not now be viable. It's a situation that needs to be resolved, and it's what Reed Pop that are doing this one. So again, the company themselves need to do better at it, and it's just
It looks bad on them.
It does. Look at the world around you, fellas. Just look at the world around you and then do the right thing. That's all you got to do. Yes, I understand it's a business, but the reason why it's caused, right? Because I'm having a rant about it, because I'm disgusted by their behavior, frankly, because I don't talk about my job publicly, and I'm not going to say what I do now, but it's one of those things. We've had discussions. We're not going back to work. We're refusing to because it's not safe. And this is one of those examples where you cannot safely have 10,000 people in a small place, let alone the 50, 60,000.
Well, the thing is, it's May now as well. It's not March. This is May. When I got rid of my ticket, coronavirus was getting big, and I was like, I need to pull the plug now before I do anything silly like booking flights and whatnot. Luckily, didn't do any of that. I only paid my deposit for my place with my friends, which I still don't care about not getting back because that was before it was officially cancelled. But yeah, like I said, I'd rather. My worry is they might turn around and be like, we're gonna make it December, and I'll be like, no, like how ridiculous is that? And they've got to think as well. Obviously, they've got to do their own decision. Lucasfilm have to chip in. Lucasfilm might be like, are we going to have anything next year for them to unveil? Obviously, there's Kenobi and Mandalorian Season 3. And, if I was them, I know D23 is their main thing. Get rid of D23, Truck Style Celebration in August. Exact same 1 year later. But then again, we don't know where the world's going to be in a year. We might have a vaccine by then. We might. But yeah, the best thing right now just be to cancel it and just give an unconfirmed date for next year.
Indeed.
It's the only way you can, I think. There's not a feasible way where you can now think everything around the world's being cancelled, but we're going to have a convention that still goes ahead. There's no way the company themselves, no way Lucasfilm would let that go ahead. There's just no way, just because of the publicity it would garner. If you did think, oh, we're going to throw our convention on still and let people gather, it's just not going to happen. Like Phil said, the law has been changed in California. You can't do these things. It's craziness that they haven't pulled and let everyone just start sorting things out. To leave it to this point now, where we're June, a few weeks away, it's just it is insanity that it's not been organized to be fixed, or to be not to be fixed, but to be moved or to be cancelled.
I mean, to put it in perspective, it's less than 10 weeks away.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to move on from the rant because we do have other things to talk about. We have one small bit of Disney Plus news: the fact that Solo is out on the American Disney Plus in July, 9th of July, I think it is. So we will get it probably.
We've already got it. We've already got
it's already on.
For once, we win.
Hey. And anyway, we're going to move on to the big piece. We've already kind of spoiled it / talked about it, but we're going to talk about it now properly. Taika Waititi has been announced that he's going to get his own Star Wars film. It's announced on StarWars.com officially. We did do our small video on it on May the 4th, but we're going to talk about it again here. We'll direct you to that video. Just go check it out on our Facebook and YouTube page to go have a little look at that. However, yes, all of the yes, cannot wait for this.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm excited, and all my other thoughts are in that video because it feels like so long ago now, and it was only 10 days ago.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, it can only be good. Is the work he's doing now, and that he's becoming more known for. It's getting bigger and bigger, and to have him attached to a Star Wars movie is only good for the franchise as a whole. So yeah, bring it on.
Indeed. And that brings us to the end of the news, and we're going to come on to Star Wars now. As I would direct you to, of course, the latest video. However, I didn't get one out last week for personal reasons. There will be one coming out next week. I need to get that all recorded, but I'm going to be looking at Dooku Jedi Lost, which would be good fun to review. In terms of announcements, we have the Star Wars Lightsaber Collection book has been announced. It's written by Daniel Wallace, who did kind of the Jedi Path and Book of the Sith, and it's a comprehensive visual guide from canon across films, TV, comics, games, the lot. And I will be getting that book when it comes out.
Yes, we've got a couple of photos from it. So the first is the cover, which is really boring. Sorry.
It doesn't come out final, so
it just looks like, oh, let's have lightsabers crossing. That's the cover of the Rebels book, man. Like, you didn't need to do that. And I'm not going to moan about a book cover because one of the pages they released as a teaser is Ahsoka, and I mean they've confirmed the designs at final, but the fact you're getting like a look into it's just a bit different. I know it's sad and stuff, and I want to read about lightsabers. I want to read about all the lightsabers, and it's just a bit different. You know, we get the visual guides, which are good fun, but we're at a point where why not?
This is beyond that. This is, hey, you like the visual extras? Here, I've got something even better for you. Here's full on in depth.
And then you've got like Disney plotting how do we recoup our billions we lost on theme parks over the last few months. They're going to be like every lightsaber in this, you know how like they declare Order 66, like every Jedi. It's like every lightsaber in this book is now a piece of merchandise.
Most of them probably already are. I mean, I know Ahsoka's are.
Ahsoka's are, what are they, $200? The thing is, I don't even know, at Disney Park, right? You pay the money, you don't actually get the blade, you have to pay like $50 more.
Yeah.
But the point is that you only have to buy the blades once because they've changed with every single one, so you can have the hilts and different.
But if I was going there and going on out, you know what? Someone put on Twitter, he spent far too much. Someone I know spent $1,000 on lightsabers at Star Wars Land. His display was beautiful. He had like a bookcase. It was like 3 tiers, lightsabers, no, just the hilts, but they were so well done, like displayed. I was like, I'm completely envious and confused at the money spent, but that is a phenomenal collection to have. So if the chance comes where I can go there.
Is his name General Grievous, perchance?
No, General Grievous would have loved it. But that's just,
General Grievous approves. That is it needs to have display it underneath it has General Grievous approved.
I don't think they have fully rendered working helicopter lightsabers, which revisiting the first 2 seasons of Rebels, it just bring about PTSD. But without a doubt, you know, not getting into it, the worst invention in all of Star Wars history. But they've followed up finally with the brilliant meme of when the final one his helicopter goes down off the side of a pyramid and dies.
Yeah,
That was a great moment.
It was one of the greatest moments
I feel that was a kind of reference like okay we'd done with the helicopter lightsabers too. I've always kind of took it as that because they didn't appear after.
Yeah.
And to be fair, for Fallen Order, they never made a point of having, could you imagine if they'd been flying?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just those spinny lightsabers just.
They were cool, but they didn't need to fly. It kind of ruined it all. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
I mean, like I said, they dressed it. By the time season 2 was written, season 1 was probably already out, and they probably already had loads of abuse. And they're like, "Okay, let's get rid of this," and on instead. So yeah. Anyway, God, I can't wait to read their description of the lightsabers now. Actually, sorry, I'm going back to it. Can you imagine? Like,
No.
I know it's not written by Pablo Hidalgo, but in the visual guides, you get the incredible Pablo Hidalgo, kind of taking the Mick comments. Could you imagine if Pablo Hidalgo had written the lightsaber book and he's talking about flying helicopter blades? It would be special. But anyway, that's going to come out at some point this year, which I'm intrigued to read.
Will be getting that. I need the Rebels book now. I know George, you've pre-ordered the lovely collector's version.
It's on its way. I got an email yesterday saying it's been. I've actually tied it in my room. You can't really see it, but I do have a Star Wars bookcase behind me. There's 5 canon books, Phil. Not to get you too excited, but I've got this. Thrawn, Arkin, and Catalyst. That is it.
Yeah.
It's not even 5.
Up there I have 28 canon books. And then to this side I then have, 357 canon comic books or whatever the hell it is. I mean, it is. I do Star Wars for a reason. Oh, I do love it. However, yes, it's one of those books. I do want the Rebels book. I just, at the moment, money-wise, I couldn't afford to get the shiny version, but it doesn't matter to me. The content is what matters. I will be getting the Rebels book because it looks beautiful. It really does look the inside.
I wasn't going to buy it. I was like, that's really nice. I didn't know if I like the Rebels enough to justify £68 on a book.
And then you started watching Rebels.
Yeah, and then I finished season 1. I was like, it comes with some Dave Filoni sketches. Wow, I need to read more. Put it in the basket, and you know what? As the series progresses, we know how much better it gets. So I'm excited to give that a read. I'm going to hold out until after I finish season 4, which speed will be another 8 days.
Yeah, the other small announcement I have for comics, which we didn't have in the news, but comic production has restarted, and things will be coming out at the end of the month. I know my first shipment will be coming in, I think, on the 27th, something like that. And it's going to cost an absolute fortune because of the amount they've had to kind of back order / reprint, because we should be, for example, Bounty Hunters, they're printing issue 2 at the moment. They should be on issue 4, to give an example of how far behind they are now. It's okay, the entire community is understood. Actually, from the comments I've been seeing, actually it's been really supportive in the groups I'm part of for the books and comics and things, how I get the news. The guys, although George was the one who put in the lightsaber news for this particular week. But yes, it's been really cool to see. However, looking forward to getting those. We're going to move swiftly on to Hot Toys, and an announcement that has made all of our wallets cry. It's something we've previewed before, but Hot Toys have officially announced this. The very beautiful Captain Rex figure that is coming, and oh my god, do I want that more than I want my next breath.
I really struggle. I thought I was going to love this figure, and then I saw the
Put the helmet on.
That's the sad thing, though. I thought when they announced it, this was going to be if Hot Toys. I mean, we'll get to Kenneth stuff.
You know what? It would be nice if they'd done one of each heads.
Yeah, this is a Hot Toys, not interpretation, but this is the Clone Wars render as a Hot Toys figure. And don't get me wrong, I know it needs to to Tamara Morrison. I've got no issue with that. I know Black Series did that to everyone, the Rebels crew and everything. Which I actually need to speak about. I'll add that to the segment for Hot Toys, not Hot Toys for Black Series. But it looks amazing. You get a couple of helmets. It's a good price, and it will sell out because with the helmet on, it is a stunning figure. I just can't get over this slim shady haircut. I know it worked, but it just doesn't look right with Tamara Morrison. But it's a fantastic figure.
I have the black. So have you got the Black Series figure? I forget, George.
No, I got rid of all my Black Series except 3.
Yeah, so of course I do have the Black Series figure one. This was the first one to have the new digital paint on, and of course they have the Tamara Morrison head on it. And I must admit, now I like my clone helmets. I love the design of them. I love the individuality. It's why I've kept mine on. But also, it's one of those things. The D. Bradley Baker voice and the Filoni Clone Wars art style / Rebel style for Rex works well. Tamara Morrison, of course, plays the clones in episode 2 and episode 3, He's also Boba Fett. He does the voice, of course, of Boba Fett in the original trilogy related to the reworks, and it works perfectly. But I think for the figure's sake, I personally would keep the helmet on. It would be nice to see one of each styles. However, the one thing I will say though, although I don't like the face as much as I like the helmet, it's a very nicely done sculpt.
Oh yeah, if they drop a Jango Fett one tomorrow or Cody, you're like, whoa, this is going to be groundbreaking. And then it's Rex,
because it's Rex. However, we have seen that Cody is coming in the pictures they did.
They haven't announced
Cody as well.
If they're doing Clone
Wars.
Wars, they're going to do Ahsoka, aren't they?
I mean, we need this. We need Clone Wars style Anakin.
Which looks, I mean, it's like in Battlefront when they did the Anakin Obi-Wan Clone Wars skins. They look strange because it's kind of like, like you toys, you can take the heads off. It's kind of like they get it wrong and like they put the wrong Lego head on the armor. But it looks very nice.
Indeed. We're going to continue. Sorry, go on, Dave.
No, I was going to say it's an absolutely beautiful piece. Again, I would have it with just the helmet on as well. But I love the fact it comes with the Ahsoka styled helmet as well. I love that it comes with that as just a separate piece. That's a really nice addition as well. But yeah, beautiful figure. Beautiful figure.
Yes, and indeed, we're going to move on to the next piece. Dave, do you want to talk about this ever so lovely piece here?
Again, Hot Toys doing what they do best. This is the 40th anniversary figures that are coming out under the new Empire 40th anniversary anyway. And we are getting a Darth Vader again for Hot Toys, which you probably think that, we're getting another Vader from Hot Toys. I don't know how many they've done now, but it's a lot. But this figure, I mean, can Hot Toys do any wrong? It comes in, the box itself is styled after the original 12-inch figures that came out for the Kenner line. So again, the box art is absolutely beautiful. The figure itself, you probably, if you already have Darth Vader as a hot toy, probably don't need it so much. The helmet might be slightly changed with the colorization on it, like the how shiny it is, really, like a buffed helmet or not. Buffed helmet, yep, a buffed helmet, and
it is completely buffed.
It looks great, but I love the packaging that they've put these into as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it's the same. I mean, we're going to jump to the Fett one as well. It's the Kenner design, and it looks. Yeah. You wouldn't want to take it out of the box, but when you're spending £300 on the figures, you have to take out of a box.
You just have the box in the display with it. That's what you have.
Yeah, but it's like Stinky Pete, mate. Like you're gonna have to take him out of the box.
No. You know what I mean? Is that you have him out of the box on display, but you have the box in the display cabinet as well.
It would look so bad if you had the empty box that has such an amazing backdrop for him to be there. I mean, I'm not telling people to buy two, open one, and keep one box because that's a silly amount of money to spend on it. But also, what I love of these, going back to the Rex, these look like the Kenner figures. Like that is not a Boba Fett perfect rendition. That is a 12-inch 1980 figure with modern Hot Toys. If they'd done that for Rex, I feel it would have been perfect because it's not that it's smooth, but it's not as detailed a sculpt. You don't need like the smallest dagger to make like wrinkles in the face. You can get away with that. So I mean, I think they're all stunning anyway, but caught me by surprise when they announced these, but it's Hot Toys. They everything gets released at some point by them.
Indeed. Although keeping with the Boba Fett theme, can we talk about the helmet that nobody wanted? I like it, but no one wanted it.
Do you think it's a missed opportunity to have a Mandalorian helmet come out?
Yes.
Yes. For it to be not, I mean, we've had the Boba Fett ones on sale now, which is coming out this week, which is what people wanted. Don't mind that. If you're going to release any of the Mandalorian, I think I messaged you guys this, didn't I? It's like, if you can have any Mandalorian helmet in the world, what do you pick? And you're going to think of the Mandalorian, you're going to think of Clone Wars, you're going to think of anything else, even Jango Fett. And then it's like, here's the prototype Boba Fett helmet, and everyone's like,
but if you get Jango Fett, do you get his head as well?
Just like when you take the helmet out of the box, it stays inside. It's part of the box.
That'd be like an amazing Halloween thing. Like if you had like a 3D print of his face, and like you just lift up the helmet and it's just like stuck to the wall or something. And you got like Sam Jackson looking really angry next to him. But it's a missed opportunity. I think they will do a Mandalorian though. Of course they will. I've got a sneaky suspicion that we could get some. I know we're 2 years away.
Also, what about Bo-Katan's helmet? That would be
too niche. It looked lovely.
Beautiful.
what I'm gonna say, I know we're a couple of years away, but the the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary, maybe they'll drop a load of stuff like that. We don't know. It's 2 years away, and it's Attack of the Clones at the end of the day. But Jango Fett deserves a helmet, and they'll probably would do it around that time.
Yeah.
And another bit of toy news. Actually, no, I'm gonna before we get to the horrible one. I did mention Black Series. The Black Series Rebels characters are the hardest. Well, Ezra is the hardest to get. He goes for £150 a figure. They never made one of Zeb, and you can get the others some expensive. I think so because like 60 quid these days. But basically, they're not the easiest set to get anymore. It's leaked on Yak Face that they're going to re-release them as a wave in September, except it's going to be the complete Rebel set, and you will get a Zeb figure, and that is in production right now. But you're going to have to buy the complete set to get the Ezra and the Ezra and the Zeb, which basically means that the price of the others is going to drop even more than what they are.
And you mean Ezra and Chopper? Zeb hasn't been done, which really irks me.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Zeb will be there in at the end of the year.
Set only, yeah.
It's a nice set. If they could do something a bit different, have anyone seen the big companies got the amazing press kits for the Black Series figures for the 40th anniversary? Yeah. They got this incredible like Darth Vader Bespin background. Loads of people inquiring to Hasbro like, can we get it? And Hasbro like, no, it's for them only. But it's just a typical, hey, how do the big not even collectors, how do the big like news companies afford everything? Well, they get it all gifted anyway, but they'll probably just sell it anyway. Sad times, but it does happen.
Indeed. We're going to move on now to something a little lighter, a little funnier, because this is also got announced.
This is childish. Not even childish.
That's an awful pun.
A child version of Monopoly is being released, and even the Monopoly font looks childish. The most expensive place is the necklace that he gets in Mandalorian. That's your equivalent of the expensive place.
That's Mayfair.
Yeah, it's a necklace. I thought, it could even be a Mandalorian Monopoly, like episodes and moments. Nope, it's completely about Baby Yoda. That's crossing a limit here. I love Baby Yoda.
That's gone from we like Baby Yoda to you're just milking it.
Yeah, there's milking and there's there's a lot of things before
there's milking and there's Monopoly. Yeah,
and it's a steep low to get to child Monopoly before. Have they done a Star Wars Complete Saga Monopoly yet?
Not Complete Saga, but you've done ones for 1 through 7.
No. Yeah, exactly.
8.
Yeah. Even Solo had one, but we'll let that slide. I'm not going to buy it. Sorry, guys. But jumping off child Monopoly, we can get to a Lego that the world's been wanting for quite a while. It's not the Republic gunship. It's maybe nearly slightly as good. We are getting an update of the Lego AT-ATs for the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. Even Lego's jumping on the logo wave for the anniversary sets. I've never seen Lego do that on a box, and this is going to retail around £140, and it looks bloody great. I know it's the AT-AT, and I know it's not hard to make an AT-AT look nice, but they're so expensive to get online, and the fact this comes with 6 minifigures, a cable, and a speeder bike. I don't remember speeder bikes at Hoff. Do you?
Don't remember speed bikes, but I think they included them in the last release of the big Hoth AT-AT, the speeder bike in it, and also when they released the Endor version, like the big Kenner version, not the Kenner version, the Hasbro version, had speeder bikes in it. So I think they're just carrying on with sort of the theme that they are inside of the AT-AT.
Okay.
AT-AT, whichever you want to call it.
I mean, it's a lovely set, as many Legos are.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a cut down of some of mine recently, and I haven't bought a Death Star to save the wallet some sad ties. There are rumors that the UCS Death Star 2 may well be a big announcement coming at the end of the year. That's according to Reddit. Reddit's a dark place, but in a Lego Star Wars subthread, I think that's got potential. We'll discuss that if there is ever an announcement. But continuing the Lego theme, guys, we're going to jump straight into games, our last segment of the day.
We're not going to talk about the Funko release?
Oh, yes, my bad. Sorry, I completely forgot about Funko, as most people do. Funko's planning New York Comic Con exclusives. Not that the convention's going to go ahead. It leaked online, though. No photos, just the barcodes and tags that they always leak. The exclusive figures will be young Luke and young Leia with the training helmets from Episode 9. Which is, when you've forgotten about Funko and you stop collecting, and I'm not going to sit and say it's milked it, but because they had like two interesting figures. When I spent recent months talking about like Black Series Lego and everything, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot Funko was a thing because they haven't had a mass announcement like they normally do to quieten down a little bit. I'm guessing they're probably prepping for season 2 of Mando.
Our thoughts are, after sort of episode 9 finished and was done with, then they kind of went a little bit quiet. They released a big slate of Mandalorian ones, like of the child and things like that, and the double set with the child and the Mandalorian, which I have ordered because it looks amazing. Everyone forgets Funko. I love them. But no, I think they will be fairly quiet. I think a lot of the that were going to be exclusives to a lot of the cons are now getting sort of retail exclusives to be shipped out from different retailers now. So they are going to get out there because obviously they designed and they made them. So they're not going to release it to the general public. They'll let them go out as exclusives from other stores like your Target and things like that.
Unless they do it for like online cons like SDCC, which is now getting online.
I don't know if they can get away with an online convention. Could you imagine the virtual queue to get into the virtual convention? San Diego as well. That would be a sight to behold.
Especially with social distancing as well, because you'd have to have your laptop further away than who knows.
Jeez. Oh. But yes, no, we are going to jump into the games now. George, do you want to continue where you left off?
Yes. Lego Star Wars. I sent a tweet out a couple of weeks ago when Disney copyrighted May the 4th. I just put, give us a release that you cowards. And they didn't. Instead we got the cover art. The usual people want to moan, oh, why is Finn at the front? Don't really care. There's been like 4 Lego Star Wars games in total, I want to say. You had 1, 2, the complete saga, and the Clone Wars one. Sorry, Force Awakens 5. This is a very nice cover because you've got the Battle of Hoth, you've got the Battle of Geonosis, you've got your 2 previous eras, and the modern era beneath, Rey with the yellow saber. And the most important thing, the Skywalker saga has Vader in the middle. Again, I love the character of Rey. I think many special people would have probably cried if Rey had been the largest character on this poster. But as a Sado that likes his canon, come on, it's the Skywalker saga. You put Vader, then Luke.
You put the chosen one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a nice cover. And they put on the statement, TT Games on May the 4th, we'll let you know the release date in the summer. Star Wars show went live last Thursday. Dropped the release, it was October the 20th, and everyone rejoiced. And then the video was deleted by the Star Wars YouTube channel, was taken off Twitter, and re-uploaded with more details coming in the summer. So either it's October 20th, or it's before then, and we're going to get a nice surprise. I think they'll announce it at Virtual E3, which is in June. But October probably seems like a good bet because it's that kind of getting towards Christmas, all the games come out. But then it's very close to the PS5 and the new Xbox. If I was them, I'd release that earlier.
Because I think a few games are doing that where they're releasing with, if you buy the game, you can have it free on the next generation. So you just install into that as well. So yeah, I think it's wise if they went a bit early. I just want the game earlier is the only thing I really want it. I want to just see, to be honest, if I don't get the game, I'd like to see some more footage and some actual gameplay of it. That's what I'm really intrigued to see, how they've done the game and if they've moved on from the previous version as to a new format of the gameplay. I don't know, but I'm really, really excited for it.
I hope we have the dialogue option to go from dialogue to just grunts again. That would be hilarious. That needs to be in there. There's a lot of things I want. I mean, I've got my Switch. I'll get it on the Switch when it comes out. I won't be able to afford the next gen consoles, but yeah, I can't wait for this game. And of course, it was interesting how they revealed the release date, and then kind of took it away. What was it? Literally, like 2 days later.
It was like accidentally, like, we weren't meant to say that. That's probably TT Games, like, you've ruined our plans. And there is a leaked steelbook cover art of Han Solo and Carbonite for Best Buy in America. No European retailers confirmed. So yeah, it's going to be at E3. They're going to probably announce it all. Another bit of game news. Jedi Fallen Order. You know how like Bob Iger loves his conference calls? Well, EA have joined in on the action. On the EA conference call, they said that they confirmed Fallen Order will be the first in a new franchise. I am gonna get really. I love Fallen Order. Sorry, I loved playing Fallen Order, not the spoiler that we had in the famous episode. And it's a hard game. It's got no replay value, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. How do you feel about it being a franchise? I wanted a sequel, nothing more. kill him. He's met Vader. Now he's got to die. Like, it's the sad reality of Order 66. Like, yes, Jedi can survive it. To me, you're not allowed to go face to face with Vader and continue to live. Like, and they've teased it for the next game. Like, we've just killed this fantastic villain, but it was Vader that killed her. Now he's coming for you. And the whole, we're gonna save the Jedi, that kind of I'm a Jedi vibe, and it's like, sorry, Cal, like, I do like you. It's time for you to go, sir.
You don't have a part in this story. You're nothing. So it's just, it seems like if he's going to have a second game, great. But you're right. I think it would then have to be the end of Cal, and if they maybe pass the story to somebody else, a different character who can have more in other ways that hasn't maybe. But you're right. If this starts with Cal, I don't think the game should finish with Cal. It should be the torch being passed to someone. I just don't. Yeah, I can't see this running past a second game at all. I don't know how you do it and fit it into the story that we're running. I just don't buy it. And it was such a hard game. I would love a second game in that style.
The only way they could do it is if you ended up with a series of characters that ended up being trained by Luke and then Ben Solo ending it.
No, because that means he has to survive another like 10 years.
No. You have the torch being passed on to someone else, who then could pass it on to someone else, who then
but he didn't need to be alive to pass the torch. What is it? 7 years after Episode 3,
something like that.
He's going to wait at least 16 years for the Empire to be defeated. And as well as rewatching Rebels, like, you bring Vader in, you can't make Vader chase one for a couple of games. Like, and also the one thing you can't do is just keep sending more Inquisitors. Like, you can get away with an extra 2.
We saw how that worked in Rebels. You can't keep on.
You can get away with sending like 2 more, but you can't just keep sending like, hello, 99th sister, 44th brother. Like, it's not going to work. But I'm all up for a sequel. And speaking of this game, they did it out of nowhere. A humongous May the 4th update for free. You had to reiterate the point it was free, even though there's no actual new levels. What you got by the update was him in an Inquisitor costume. And if anyone's familiar with the concept of New Game Plus, you basically get to replay the story with all the abilities you have beforehand. It's very common in single-player games. More on that in a moment. And then they've added like challenge combat arena like every like Arkham game has. That's a really nice free update. I appreciate that. New Game Plus is called New Journey Plus because you're not allowed to carry any of your abilities over. But you can only have the Inquisitor skin by doing New Game Plus. But you can't carry anything over. So you're basically just restarting. But there are some empty chests already that you didn't spend too long finding before. There is no replay value at all to it. It doesn't even make the difficulty harder. You can go to the easier than beginner mode. I played 20 minutes and didn't go back to it because I'm not replaying this. I love the story. It doesn't have that replay. It's not open world. Like, it's open world, but it's not like there's no side missions. There's no entertaining collectibles. It's a great first entry in the game, but I don't think it has that ability to get you to.
I think we've lost George.
Yeah, he has disappeared on us. Oh, he's back. He has come back.
Yeah,
we lost George just for a few seconds there.
It's just a free update for anyone that wants to actually play it again. I don't think many of you will, but that's Fallen Order. Then I also want to say anything. I'm going to jump onto the saddest news of the day.
No, crack on. We're coming to the end of this.
Episode 1 Pod Racer was due out yesterday, 12th of May.
Yep.
Looking so excited for the game.
Yep.
And then I wake up on Tuesday morning to find a tweet written the night before from the Gamescom saying that we've had to postpone the game. We're sorry. And the comments, no new release date. The day before the game is due out, they cancelled it. Loads of people kicking off. A couple of smart asses who I did actually like. One of them put, don't bring it back till you add online. Because I believe they added online to one of the Jedi Academy games.
Yeah.
You can add online to Jedi Academy, but you can't add online to pod racing. Like,
Jedi Academy had online to start with. So they would just bring back the old service, I think.
But you can add on.
Yeah, but Pod Racer should be online. It really should be.
So I don't mind if they say it'll be out in 3 months with online. That's fine. But to do it a day before, that's cheap. Like, I know it's difficult working at home, the situation we're all in. You knew before Monday that you weren't going to release it on Tuesday. So that's sad timing of episode 1. And the final bit of news is also actually just really aggravating news. Vader Immortal is getting its release on PSVR this summer. I had a VR. I bought a VR for Star Wars. They didn't make Battlefront 2 VR after having the amazing demo on Battlefront 1.
Yep.
And then they said when Vader Immortal was announced that it wasn't ever going to be on PlayStation, so I got rid of VR, and now it is. I'm very fortunate. One of my friends texted me, who still has his VR. He said that he will buy it and he will lend me his VR. Because I said it's not even that long in the game. It's just a couple of hours, isn't it? But that is, I woke up I mean, I don't regret getting rid of it because VR is kind of already dead, and I'd rather have a PS5 when the time comes. But yeah, that's the end of games. A bit of games news. I think it's all going to go quiet, guys. We've had far too much news for the normal gap. We've had a lot of big May the 4th announcement news pieces, haven't we?
Yeah,
definitely. There's been a lot more than we would normally have at this time of year, especially when we're in between. You would normally be waiting for a convention, and you would be in between movies and in between TV series. But this May the 4th gave us a lot of news that we weren't expecting, which was really nice. But yeah, we've had quite a lot in a short space of time, so I'm expecting it to drop off a cliff for the next couple of weeks.
We are indeed. The celebration that should be cancelled, that hasn't been cancelled yet, but totally definitely will actually be cancelled. Don't even fool yourself thinking that it will not be cancelled. News has been dropping like mad, but it will fall off a cliff.
Definitely. That's everything for this week, unless you guys got anything more to add.
No, I think that
just
is
really a massive thank you. Just a massive thank you to everyone who's watched, who's subscribed, who's tweeted with us, who's liked, comments. The video that we did with Blue Banther Milk Company Co on YouTube hit over 300 views inside of a week, which is incredible for our lovely little channel that we have. But that's big numbers for ourselves. So thank you so much if anybody took the time to watch that show. It was a really good show. Really enjoyed doing it. We'll hope to do a couple more in the near future where we'll get someone else on to maybe do a show with, because we really like talking to other people as well and getting you involved. So yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone who's taking part in the channel. It's growing slowly. We'll get there, and we're going to get bigger hopefully. And yeah, thank you so much for being part of it.
Indeed. So all I have to say is thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, at Twitter, at One's the Force of Stars Podcast, at the Force Podcast. You can find the video for this later on our Facebook and YouTube pages, and of course the audio version will be up later on our Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher, because I said that in the wrong order. And of course our merchandise is available in our TeePublic link down below. So until next time, we've been One's the Force, where Force will be with you. Good night.